welcome to today's video. Today I'm going to be doing a tutorial on this makeup look that I'm wearing right now. This is going to be the first of all the holiday looks that I'll be doing in the next month. I'm hoping to do about 2 or hopefully 3 depending on what time allows, but this is the first one. It is a more kind of wearable, cool tone look that is a little bit more casual and not quite as glammed up or too terribly dark or heavy or anything like that. So if you want to see how to get this look, then just keep watching. Start with, I'm going to put on a little bit of primer. This is the BareMinerals Prime Time. It's one I've been trying out recently, and so far I like it. It's very similar to the one by Smashbox, that's that clear kind of silicone type. So I just use a very little bit of this, mostly in the center of my face, just to kind of smooth over any little bit of pores. I do have pretty dry skin, so pores aren't a huge issue for me, but this does really help your makeup glide on a lot smoother. So for foundation, I'm going to use the Makeup Forever Ultra HD stick. This is a really good one for pretty full coverage if you do have dry skin. A lot of the more fuller coverage ones, like the new Urban Decay All Nighter, do start to kind of break down on my skin and look a little bit dry after a little while. So just because this isn't too fancy of a night, I'm going to just go ahead and do this so I don't have to really fuss with the more long-lasting ones. But like I said, if you want full coverage, this is a good one for dry skin. And I'm going to just go in with this little angle flat brush. This is the 115 airbrush by brushes for Ulta. You can get these from Ulta. They're really good quality. I know there's a lot of sets coming out for Christmas. I'm not really sure if the quality is true through all of them, but I really am curious about the one where it's like sparkly all over the brush. I think that looks really cool, and the brush hairs on them just in pictures look like they'd be pretty good quality as well. Even though I'm wearing a turtleneck, I'm going to go down a little bit of my neck just to try to make sure it all looks pretty even. And lately I've been kind of going into this inner area just a bit to try to help blend things out. It doesn't seem to mess up my concealer when I do that. It doesn't make it seem like, it doesn't seem to make it crease or break up or anything. So for concealer today, I'm going in with the Tarte Shape Tape. This is in the shade Light. I've not seen this one back in stock since I bought it, so, or at least not in Ulta itself. So when I run out of this, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I originally said I wasn't sure if I liked this better than the NARS. Kind of said they were a tie, but so far I do think I like this one a lot more. It seems to last longer, and it also just seems to be a lot creamier. It doesn't dry quickly when you're trying to blend it in like the NARS one does. It's just much creamier, and I really like it. Sorry, I'm looking at the viewfinder for most of this video. It's kind of what I'm using as my mirror today, so I'm either going to be looking at that or a mirror in my hand most of this video. So I haven't really been into the whole baking thing too much lately, but I do like to use this MAC. This is the Mineralize Skinfinish Natural, and mine is in the shade Light Plus. I've really been liking putting it on my beauty blender and just kind of tapping straight into the pan and really patting in powder in the places that I need it. So I just do it under my eyes, kind of around my mouth and around my nose, and a little bit in the center of my forehead. Because I really don't need powder everywhere else, and this just is much more, it doesn't give that powdery look because it's pushing it in with this kind of damp sponge. It seems to work really well for me, but that's just kind of what I've been doing instead of baking. You know, usually I will go in with this Pro Contour brush and use it, and I still like to do that, but when I feel like it, I'll use the Beauty Blender, and I just really like the effect it gives. Onto a new product that I've been liking a lot. This is the Chanel Soleil Tan de Chanel. And I know there's some dupes for this, but I actually just recently watched a video that said one of the dupes that is available, I think it's from the drugstore, that actually is very comparable. You end up spending more on that than you do on this because you get so much product in this. This is $50, so it's a pretty expensive face product, but so far I've really been liking it, and I've been using the Sigma Soft Angle Contour F23 brush with it. I don't put too much on the brush because this is a little bit dark for me. It blends in really pretty, so it doesn't seem to be a problem, but I wouldn't suggest like really putting a ton of on the brush if you're pale like me. So that's what it looks like with just the Soleil Tan de Chanel. And then I've also been going in on top of that with the NARS Laguna bronzer that I've been liking a lot lately as well. So my bronzers, both of these together is a really good duo. So like I said, this is NARS Laguna, and I've been going in with this MAC 135 brush. This is my favorite bronzer brush. I've never regretted purchasing it. It was a pretty expensive brush, but I've used it I think every day since I got it. So definitely highly suggest this brush. So you can see this like really makes it lots of bronzer. I may have gone a little heavy with it, but it's an evening event, so it's okay to go a little heavier with your face products. Tip, if you ever do go a little crazy on the bronzer, you can always go in with your beauty blender or your foundation brush and just kind of tap around and just blend it in a little better. It does help at least some with toning down bronzer or any blush, whatever you do that goes a little crazy. Since I am going for a more cool toned eye look, I'm going to use a purple blush. This is Sweet Sentiment by MAC. It's an older holiday collection one, but just any kind of cool tone purplish blush will do. I feel like Milani probably has one that's very similar to this, especially with the Mineralize finish in their baked blushes, the ones that have Luminoso in it. That's the only one I've tried is Luminoso. I haven't tried any of the other ones, but I feel like they would have one very similar. But since I am going for a cool tone look, like I mentioned, I'm going to go in with Pearl highlight. You can see this is pretty much stark white. It has a pretty kind of yellowy but yet opalescent sheen to it. So I'm going to go in with this brush. This is a Morphe M510. I really like this brush for highlighting. I think it does a really good job. But I'm not going to go too crazy with this one because it is such a light highlight. I think it's really pretty for this time of year because I don't know, I just really like these kind of more like cool tone, starker highlights for Christmas. So when you go out for holiday reasons, you can kind of go a little crazy with what you're wearing. And I think this one's really pretty. So before I get into the eyeshadow, I'm going to go ahead and do my eyebrows. And I've really been enjoying doing a little bit of a darker brow. And so I got this Brow Wiz medium brown in a little kit I picked up from Sephora. It was kind of just one of those kits. I needed an eyeliner and it had an eyeliner in it, and it had a couple other things I was interested in trying, as well as a full-size Brow Wiz, and it was a pretty decent price. So I've really been enjoying this, and I like that it's about the same shade as my actual brows. So yeah, I've just been liking this. And then I also been using for a while now the Gimme Brow in a little bit of a darker shade, one that I got in my Birchbox a while back, number 3. So going for a little bit of the darker brow, but I'm not trying to make them too big and harsh, although it does kind of look big and harsh. Something I noticed is if I go a little too hard right here at the front, if I just kind of wipe it up with my finger, it softens it a lot. And I do think that helps a good bit. So I'm going to just fill in this brow, and then I'm going to go into the eyeshadow. I'm going to be using the Lorac Mega Pro 2. I just really like some of the more cool tone shades in this palette, but I'm sure you can get very similar looks from other palettes. I know this one is not always available. It was available, I think, part of Black Friday, Cyber Monday or something like that. They brought it back, but like I said, you can find very similar colors. This is just a really big palette full of lots of colors. First, I'm going to go in with the shade Custard. It's just like a light, kind of yellowy, creamy color, and this is just a regular crease brush that I got from BareMinerals, and I'm going to just kind of go in all over my lid just to kind of set everything and to make everything blend a little bit easier. Alright, with that same brush, I'm going to go into, I think I'm going to do Sorbet today. Which one's that? It's right here. Sorbet. It's kind of just like a light kind of pinky mauve color. Instead of going in with a warm brown, I think I'm going to use this. And this is just kind of serving as my transition shade. I think I'm going to try using a little bit of this lavender shade right here called Lavender. Just a very light blue purple. I'm going to just go into the crease just a little bit with this, just to kind of give everything a little bit more of a cool tone look. I'm going to attempt this. I haven't actually tried this before. I don't know. I kind of like that. I'm going in with a more kind of gray color in a little bit, so I don't want it to be too warm going straight into gray. So I thought maybe this one would help. So next I'm going to go in with a lid color, and I want to use, first I'm going to go into Sandstone, and then I'm going to put olivine on top of that. So Sandstone, I'm going to just go, both of them really, I'm going to go in with my fingers because it just is a little easier to pack on the pigment. And olivine doing the same thing, but kind of keeping it more on the inner corners. Inner side of the, like inner to middle of the lid. Going in with this brush, it is a MAC 221. It's a very, very petite crease brush. I'm going to go into the shade Ash right here. Just get a little bit, it's kind of a blue-gray, and I'm going to use that to deepen up the outer corner and go into the crease. That is much more kind of purple tone than I expected, but I kind of like it. And if you get any fallout, you can always brush that away with a fluffy face brush. That's usually what I do. This one really isn't falling out too bad, but I'll probably still go over it just in case. But I really like how much this is deepening up everything. Now I'm going to go into the under eye. I'm going to go in with Sorbet, and then I'm going to go into the outer corners with Ash. So I'm using both of those on this, what is this? The 220 small shadow brush. You'd think I'd remember it. I use this, I think, in every single tutorial. I use it every day, but I'm not really sure what the name is. So now I'm going to go in with Ash just on the outer corners, just a little bit to help kind of connect the upper and lower lash lines. I always end up with eyeshadow in my eye. Alright. Alright, so that should be everything for the Lorac Pro palette. Now I want to do something a little bit more glittery on the eyes. Alright, so I'm going to do just a touch of the Too Faced glitter glue. I'm not going to use too much because sometimes it does interrupt the shadow that you're wearing on your eye. I'm going to just kind of put it on my hand, rub it out, and then whatever is left. Hey, Soph! That would be my cat in the background. Whatever is left, I'm going to just tap kind of right where I'm going to put the glitter. I don't want to put, like I said, too much, just something for it to adhere to. And doing it on the other eye. Okay. So I think I'm going to go in with two different glitters. First, I'm going to go in with Urban Decay Cosmic. This is like a pressed pigment glitter. And I'm going to just put a little bit on my finger and then just tap it onto my eye. Also going to go into Space Cowboy, which is the same formula, and just do a little bit of that just to kind of add extra bit of dimension and just shades of glitter instead of all the same color. To finish up the eye look, I'm going to go in with Urban Decay Black Velvet and Too Faced Better Than Sex Mascara, and then I'll come back on to show you me applying the false lashes. A lash trick that I've been doing a lot lately is using these Adore Trios. I keep a lot of these. I get them from Sally's, and this is just kind of what I've been using for false lashes lately. But I was doing them on the outer lash line, like on the top of your lashes, and then now I've been using them on the inner rim of the lash line underneath the lashes. So I like that look a lot better. You don't have to wear eyeliner, and it really hides the lashes really well. So I just do two of the medium length ones on the outer corner of each eye. Put the lash on these are like lash application tweezers that I got from Ulta. They're the Ulta brand. They're pretty cheap. I think they're like $10 versus like the MAC and Tarte ones that I think are $20. So instead of putting the lash glue underneath the lash, you put it on top of the lash band instead. So you just do it on the other side. So you do it on this side instead of on that side. Just letting them get tacky. I don't really know if blowing on them or waving them around really does anything, so I just wait a few seconds. And then I'm going to put it on my inner lash line like this. I'm going to start on the outer lashes and move inward. So you just kind of place it onto the little bit of skin right before your eye. So that's really all it is. It's a lot easier for me to apply them this way. And then you just apply them and you can just kind of squeeze them together with your regular lashes. I know a lot of people think that wearing them on the inner rim like this, it would be more uncomfortable. I actually think it's, more uncomfortable. I think it's more comfortable than wearing them on the upper, like outer. The only thing I would say is make sure there's no glue on the other side of the band because it will make your eyes kind of stick together if there is. But that's pretty much a simple thing to resolve. So I'm going to just place these next to the others. And make sure they're all on straight, kind of push them all together, and that's really it. So that is one eye done. I'm going to do the other eye and then show you the finished look. It really is a very simple way to do eyelashes, as long as you're not too queasy about like touching your eye or anything, although this doesn't touch my eyeball at all. It's just a little bit of skin, kind of where you apply your inner rim eyeliner. For lips, since this is a dinner type of party and I know I'm going to be eating, I'm going to just go in with the shade Ooh La La from Julep. It's a pretty kind of cool tone pink. I'm not doing the red lip in this holiday look, but I will be doing more, and one at least will have a red lip. Well, this is the full complete look for this holiday makeup. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you want to see more of these holiday tutorials then in the next month, be sure to give this video a thumbs up or comment down below, and be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any of them. Thanks.